I've ever worked for in my entire life. Nothing they did ever made any sense. Obviously, you watch the show. I go there, and what do they have me do? Get in the ring. And I was like, I'm not a wrestler. Why would you put me in the freaking ring? I had a bunch of mixed matches with Dawn Marie and ECW, but that was basically catfighting, and I stripped her. But I'm like, no, we're gonna do this. I'm like, dude. I said, does this make any sense? What I don't do, you're having me do, and what I do well on the microphone, you're not letting me do. I said, does that make any sense? My whole job and my strength is my gift of gab and my promo work. Instead, you have me silent, never on the microphone, and wrestling. I was like, first of all, okay, you suck. But yeah, it was just, it made absolutely no sense. And it still doesn't. And they were like, no, we're going to do this whole new image. I'm like, but that's ridiculous. I'm not a wrestler. Never said I was. Never said I was any good at it because I'm not. And but they did it anyway.
Who's calling that shot?
Vince Russo and Bischoff. But that locker room was horrible. The morale was so bad. Like in WWE, WWF, when we were all on the road, we were a family. Everybody was friends. There was only 30 of us at the time, and we were a family on the road because back then we were on the road for like 2 months straight, then home for 3 days, then back out on the road for a month and a half, home for 4 days. We were away together more than anything. So it was very normal to like see the whole crew of us walking into the movie theater together or walking into a bowling alley because we were family and friends. I got to WCW and people don't even talk to each other. They don't even converse in the locker room. Everybody walks around with their head down. Horrible place. Bad. Not good.
How long were you there?
Huh?
How long were you there?
About a year.
About a year?
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question. They asked you to wrestle. Did you ever want to be a wrestler?
No.
Is that something that just...
No, no, I mean, Chris was my high school boyfriend, so we were together and like we just messed around in the house. He was, teaching me things. Plus, I was a fan when I was a kid, so I knew pretty much the basics. And just, I just caught on, and we'd go over what we have to do, and Chris would just make the whole match because he knew what I could do and what I couldn't do, and we kept it as basic as possible. But no, I just went out there and tried it. I had no idea what I was doing. I made the mistake in ECW because we're there, and it's ECW. You got to do something to pop that crowd, or they'll fart on you. So it's me and Chris against Lance and Dawn, and Chris and Lance are fighting on the outside, and they didn't even know I was going to do this. I just climbed up to the top, and I did a huge dive from the top rope onto them on the outside. They didn't even see it coming, and they were like, holy shit, and the whole place, she's hardcore, and like the top one, I'm like, awesome, because I jumped up, and like my form was great, because I was a gymnast, so I have good form. And the guys were like, what are you doing? I'm like, I've got to pop the crowd somehow, it's Philly. And then I did it like all the time there, and of course Vince Russo saw that. He's like, you gotta do that every time. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? I'm like, not doing it just on one person. I'll do it on 2 people because I don't trust they're gonna catch me completely. But but no, I never trained to do it. I just kind of went out there and did it. I think the first stunner I ever gave was on TV. I never even tried it in the back or
A
I just
stunner?
went out there. I'm like, yeah.
Who did you give the stunner on?
Everyone.
Everybody?
In ECW and WCW, yeah.
One of my favorite moments of her was actually in ECW with the franchise, with that whole group. I just thought that it was so unique to have a group like that, and then her to come out, like it just brought like so much, like it was like main event status right away. Like you could just feel the energy when they came out. The music dropped. They'd all come out. Chris Candido would come out to AC/DC. Dude, I used to love watching that. Because back in the day, ECW. It was so hardcore, it wouldn't even was allowed on pay-per-view. You remember that? They wouldn't even put it on pay-per-view. And I remember finally, 1996, the first one was on pay-per-view.
I actually managed Shane last weekend in Indiana, and we resurrected the spirit of the triple threat at the end of the match. Shane did, because Shane doesn't know how to shut up. So he's doing his whole 18-minute promo after the match, and he said, but 2 people are the most important people the triple threat are missing. So he introduced Bam Bam, I introduced Chris, so the crowd started chanting for both of them, and then we made everybody get up and do the triple threat. It was cool, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. But the only thing missing was Nancy.
What is she up to now? Do you know what she's up to?
We're very good friends. She lives in Jersey, not too far from me. I went to her wedding. She got married to this great guy named Joe. He does something with insurance. I forget what. They have 2 kids. Molly is, I think, 4. And Connor, I think, is like 1.5, almost 2. Cutest kids in the world. Oh my god. Her kids are so much cuter than Dawn Marie's. They really are. Cute kids. But she's doing really good. She sold all her photos. She sold all her clothes. She does nothing.
Really?
A couple people asked me to get her to do like a little triple threat reunion, like with Shane and everything like that. She's not even interested in doing autograph signings. She likes being a stay-at-home mom.
Oh,
That's cool.
you gotta respect
She's
that.
so happy though.
Yeah.
I've never seen her this happy.
Yeah, the only time I met her was at Franklinson's where we were at.
What's that?
Only time I met her was at Franklinson's.
Yeah.
That must have been a long time ago.
Long time.
Yeah, I met her at the Hollywood show
No,
ages
she's
ago.
a great person. She'll always be one of my closest friends.
She's like really, yeah, she's really cool.
Do you ever think in the future there'll ever be anything as close as ECW? Do you think anyone will ever try to put something out, some work like that, where they could find guys that create chemistry like that?
Ring of Honor is the closest thing that'll come to it, I think.
Ring of Honor.
It's a different style. And I actually appreciate Ring of Honor style more than ECW because I'm not the hardcore kind of girl. I'm not into all that stuff. I mean, ECW was great, but I like the style, the more technical matches in Ring of Honor. And I worked with them a few times. It's a great trip. Great bunch of guys. They always bring me out to like whatever show they're doing on WrestleMania weekend, wherever we are, and I always do a killer. But really good guys, really good crew. Friends with all those guys still. I dated Dave Richards for like 9 months. But yeah, that's the closest thing I think that has come to ECW so far. Who knows? Somebody might outdo him one day, but
Yeah.
There's, of course, it never.
TNA's trying, but see, I don't even look at
yeah.
TNA being close to what ECW did.
No,
They're on national
no.
television and their production quality is so much better, but their product is nothing compared to ECW. It's terrible.
We have a local called NWA Championship from Hollywood here, and the ratings that they get are higher than what TNA gets.
No way. Really?
I'm serious, yeah.
What was that?
And they're on at 2 in.
Yeah, they get higher ratings, and they just signed a contract with Maverick, and yeah, they're blowing up. It's amazing.
NWA?
Yeah.
What channel is this on?
Oh, NWA
KDO
Championship.
Yeah, KDOC, but they're everywhere now. If you have I think it's like Dish or DirecTV, they're over there.
Look it up. Keep it in mind.
Yeah, same here.
What about you, Matt? Is there anything you want to ask Sytch? I know you were talking to her earlier at the show, but was there any questions you thought of you wanted to ask?
What was like your favorite Raw show?
Favorite what?
Like Monday Night Raw show that you
I
did.
have no idea. I think I remember all that stuff.
Was there one moment, like one match, one particular moment?
No, there's never one. I mean, there's so many cool things that I've done. There's never one thing. Like one of my favorite things I do is get slopped.
Yeah, we were talking about it.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
I had such a good time.
We were like, what
People
was
were like,
in that?
Ew, how could you do that? I'm like, are you kidding me? First of all, the first time we did it, look at all the publicity I got. They replayed it on Raw 80,000 times. I got the cover of a magazine. It was, so right there, boom, put my face right out there again. And then we did it on the road for like 2 months straight, every night. And it was so much fun though. And it was great because I had to go buy a lot more cowboy boots because my boots kept getting ruined from them. So I had to wash them out, and they were just paying for them. And so I was shopping like crazy, giving them receipts. So I took advantage of it. But no, it was a lot of fun. I made the slop every day. It's just leftover catering from the afternoon. It was basically salad, bread, milk, water, pretty much it. Mix it up, good to go. And I would keep it in my locker room because I heard stories of guys pissing in it and stuff like that. That's what I told Vince. I said, I will do this every night for a year if you want me to, but I make the slop and I keep it in my room. Period. No questions asked.